Hi, I'm Simon Delaney and welcome to part 4 of Spirit of Britain's restoration of our Austin 10 staff car. Let's have a look at the work we've been doing in the last few weeks. With the engine completely dismantled, it was sandblasted, steam cleaned and all the oilways and waterways thoroughly cleaned through. This is critical because obviously there is no point doing a complete engine rebuild if there are any particles of grit left in the engine. Once reassembled with new piston rings, a reground crankshaft and new main bearing shells, the head, block and manifold gasket surfaces were all skimmed. Finally, the engine and gearbox were bolted back together and a new clutch assembly fitted. The oil pump, carburettor, generator, starter motor and distributor were also rebuilt. And that's a view of the crankshaft and big ends before the sump was refitted. Well, you can see how easy it is to put the engine back in when you've got a friend with a teleporter. The engine and gearbox is in, bolted up to the prop shaft, and the engine mounting's done up securely. After that, we started adding the wiring harness in. We've had a new wiring harness custom made by AutoSpark. You may remember the wreckage of the original one, which we could clearly see was going to be no use. So the wiring harness now looks like this. It's all lovely and braided in all the proper colours, so we can use the original wiring diagram to fit it, which is quite fun. We've also fitted the dynamo and the carburettor's being sat in place to see how that all works out, and we've fitted the control rods. The front part of the roof interior is a pressed tin sheet covered in some nice fabric, which I've recovered the sun visors and reassembled and got a new piece of glass cut for the mirror. So that's all been pinned and screwed in place, and then we'll break out down the back of the car and put the headlining in place, finishing with a nice shelf at the back and the surrounds that go around the back windows. Some items, like the two pieces of the back seat, make a big difference when you put them in place, even just to see how they fit. All of a sudden the car looks a lot more finished. Quite comfy really for its age, and the condition is good. So just want the front seats in and we can drive off. You might remember that the rear end of our lovely Austin had quite a crunch, and so this has all been reprofiled, and the bottom valance here as well. A lot of filling, a lot of sanding, quite a bit of filler, fair amount of welding, a lot of work. But as you can see, all the joints look nice, and we've just trial fitted the boot, which is always going to be a bit of a pain because the hinges have got to be aligned properly, and as you can see, it just about opens okay at the moment, which is good. Let's have a look inside and see what we've been doing inside the boot. I picked this nice boot floor off a mate of mine, Nigel, top bloke. He's doing some Austins as well, and this was missing from our car originally, so it turned out that it had a nice strengthening piece along the back and the hinges were already on it, and it fits exactly into place, and so the spare tyre fits underneath and all your luggage goes in here, so that was a really neat find. The inside of the boot here was all terribly corroded, and so my friend Peter, who's an excellent fabricator, has been building all this back up again, and now you just can't tell it from the real thing. It looks absolutely superb. It's really important when you open doors or the bonnet or the boot on a car that I'm doing, for me, that you can see all the interior is as good as the exterior. I've taken the lock apart and cleaned it all up, painted it black so it looks a little bit different. Not surprisingly, the Ministry of Supply specified to Austin that all the parts on the civilian car that would have been chrome would just be in plain metal, painted green. So this came off a civilian car, so we had to sandblast all the chrome off it, and then sand it all back to take all little pieces of chrome and pitting out of it, and fill it and sand it and make it really nice. And so that will fit on like that. And so that really brings the rear end of the car together. Now we get into the fun stage of the restoration, where we can actually bolt big components back on and see the Austin really grow. Once again, everything has to be trial fitted, so it's all going to come apart again, probably several times. But the mud wings are the first thing to go on at the front end, and they fit on like so. They're only held in place by a couple of bolts, but the way everything pulls it together is what keeps the construction sound. So the inner wings, the outer wings, the radiator and the front grille assembly all bolt up to each other. So we have to trial fit everything to make sure it's all going to line up. Right, that's all we have time for, and so until next time, I'll see you in the past. Jesus!
Okay, so take two.
Our Austin has been sandblasted, and then we have it up completely because I can't remember what I'm saying.
Go again.
Sorry. Keep filming, yeah. Hi, I'm Simon Delaney and welcome to part 4 of Spirit of Britain's restorations. This is our Austin 10 staff car thing.